And this is the diagram of the induction motor. This is the front view, this is the side view, and the rotor. So front view, you see, you have two cylinders, correct? So one cylinder, outermost cylinder is going to be your stator. The innermost cylinder is going to be your rotor. Okay, so stator is going to remain stationary. Rotor is going to rotate and generate your mechanical motion. Okay, and we are going to have rotation of flux because I'm going to generate a three-phase voltage. So your flux will also be rotating in a three-phase. It will also be going to rotate. And inside the innermost cylinder is called as rotor, and it is going to have a copper or aluminum ring, and it is going to have copper or aluminum bar. See the inner end of rotor, diagram of rotor given here. So you have parallelly placed copper or aluminum bars. I think you can visualize them, and they are shorted on both the ends. Both the ends of the bar are connected to a common copper or aluminum ring. This is going to provide the necessary short circuit. I think you can visualize it. It's just like you have instead of having a solid cylinder, you are going to have a hollow cylinder with aluminum or copper bars in between. So there is some air gap between the two bars. But we are going to minimize that air gap by proper designing. Okay. So this is the construction. Construction is very simple. You have a stator core, you have a rotor core. Okay, stator is going to be the stationary and rotor is going to be the moving portion. And the construction of rotor is a cylinder, and it is going to be made of copper or aluminum rings on either side, and between those rings I am going to have copper or aluminum bars which are going to be shorted at the both the ends, and between the bars you will have a very little amount of air gap. Okay, and these dotted lines indicates the flux. You have north pole and south pole, so these lines will indicate your flux. Okay, we'll go to the operation. The stator is going to have three windings. I told you the last class itself, generation of rotating magnetic field. Either I can keep my winding stationary and rotate the magnetic field, or I can keep my magnet stationary and rotate the windings. But I will always prefer to rotate the magnetic field and keep the winding stationary. So the windings, if they have to be stationary, we have to place the windings on the stator. Okay, stator is the stationary part, right? So see here, the stator has three windings for three phase. It has P poles and sinusoidal MMF and flux distribution. And since I'm going to rotate the magnetic flux, the stator will generate a three-phase AC supply. So because of the three-phase AC supply, the three-phase AC current will flow through the stator windings. So magnetic flux is produced that is going to rotate at a synchronous speed given by ns equal to 120 f by p. Very, very important. This ns is called as synchronous speed. This ns is not the speed of your motor. Ns is the speed of rotation of your magnetic flux. So ns equal to 120 f by p. Okay, and all these happens in the stator. We are not even going into the rotor now. All these are happening in the stator. See, in the stator, I'm going to have my windings. In the rotor, I'm going to have my magnets. The concept is by rotating the magnet, I am going to generate three-phase AC power supply that is going to induce current to flow inside the windings. So when such three-phase currents are going to flow through the stator windings, you are going to have a rotating magnetic flux. That's rotating magnetic flux rotates at a synchronous speed ns given by 120 f by p. So naturally, what happens? Your motor will also try to rotate and follow that magnetic flux rotating at synchronous speed. Synchronous speed is I can say it is the maximum speed at which your motor can rotate. It is not the rotation of motor, it is the number which indicates the maximum speed your motor can rotate. But the synchronous speed is the rotation speed of your magnetic flux, not your motor. So for attaining maximum speed, your motor will follow this synchronous speed only. Okay, any doubts in this? So you call this as synchronous speed, but this actually not the rotation of your motor, it is the rotation of your magnetic flux. Remember that speed nale we associate that with motor, right? But that is not the case here. Here we associate the term speed with magnetic flux. Okay. Now we see the rotor. The rotor is an iron laminated cylinder with large embedded conductors in the form of copper aluminum bars in the semi-closed slots. So it is made up of iron. The rotor is made up of iron, and you are going to have copper or aluminum bars along the circumference of your cylinder, and they are going to be closed. Closed means shorted. The slots are not usually made parallel. They are given a slight twist. So small, it is not going to be a straight line. It is going to be given a slight twist. That twist is the twist makes the rotor to be called as a skewed rotor. Skew means a little bit curve. Okay. So the conductor bars are short circuited at the end by the conducting ring. So this is looking like a squirrel gauge. Squirrel cage. So it is called as a squirrel cage rotor. So it's a squirrel cage rotor. Okay. Now the squirrels they make their house this way. So it is called as it is looking like a squirrel cage. So I'm going to call it a squirrel cage rotor. And the air gap between the rotor and stator is uniform and it is made as small as possible. It will look like the rotor and stator will be touching each other, but see here the white portion is there, right? That indicates the air gap between stator and rotor. So the air gap is made as minimum as possible because you will have more interaction of the magnetic field with the rotor. So if the rotor is far away from the stator, the interaction is going to be minimum, so you are not going to achieve, you are going to lose the flux. So we are by construction we are ensuring that the air gap between the rotor and stator is very very minimum so that the interaction is maximum and the rotor is constructed in such a way that it will not touch the stator when it is rotating. So it is just like running very close to your stator. Okay.